Hi guys, is Laura Kuenssberg a journalist or a political commentator? Because the former is supposed to report on the news and provide as unbiased analysis as possible, while the latter is just someone with an opinion. She tends to treat the Tories with kid gloves while attempting to grill everyone else and catch them out with gotcha questions. Here Labour's Pat McFadden was tempted into the trap by Kuenssberg, but didn't fall for the bait. Have a listen.
And I know you, as all ministers here, are very careful not to say anything that might be perceived in the White House as being critical of the president, and there are obvious diplomatic reasons for that. But this week, Donald Trump sent the stock market haywire by doing a sort of hokey-cokey with tariffs, big tariffs against Mexico and Canada that were going to be on, then they were off. There were the decisions that have affected Ukraine so profoundly. What's it like dealing with that kind of zigzagging, that constant change?
Well, I think one of the lessons from it is probably not to react immediately to everything that's said. It's tempting in interviews like this for someone in your position to say, what's your latest response to the latest comment overnight? British ministers have adopted a stance of not reacting to everything that's said overnight. I think that's been the right thing to do. What's it like dealing
with that zigzagging? I mean, you're being very, very open, actually, about how you are keeping your mouths shut. Deliberately.
Well, she's not happy with the answer. She was hoping that he would criticize Donald Trump because of the latest thing that Donald Trump has said, and instead he's taking a more adult approach by taking a step back and saying, "Look, what we'll do is we'll react to what he does, not to what he says." Because Donald Trump says a lot, but doesn't do a lot. Now, when it came to the tariffs, obviously, if there are tariffs not being applied to the UK, it's not really the UK's business to get involved in tariffs between, for example, Canada and the United States. So, until it impacts the United Kingdom, then the UK government is not going to react. And of course, he's making a valid point here. What's the point in me responding to everything that Donald Trump says? It makes more sense to respond to something that he does. Now, he's done a few things already which are terrible, and we expect the UK government to respond to those things. But you can't have oh look, Donald Trump tweeted this or tweeted that in the last 5 minutes. What's your reaction? This would be insane. Now, you actually have politicians doing this, but they're not serious politicians. A serious politician says, look, let's react to things that he's doing, let's react to things that involve us, and let's sit and absorb what's happening first of all before we actually come back with a response.
So what we're focusing on is what happens, and it's what happens that matters. That's true of Ukraine, and it's true of the economic issues that you're talking about. We're focused on what happens, and what will guide us all the way through is acting in the British national interest. And remember, this is an important thing to stress. It is in the British national interest to maintain a strong alliance with the United States. It's long, it's deep, it's based on many, many things. It's been there for many years. We want to maintain that, and that guides what we do.
Okay, this is where I disagree with Pat McFadden, because I think the alliance is over. Because Donald Trump allegedly is instructing the US armed forces or the weapons providers to stop providing updates to, for example, F-16 aircraft that have been delivered to Ukraine. So these aircraft will not be usable, I believe. Now, this is all still news, it's still up in the air, but once again, it demonstrates that the US is no longer a reliable ally. If Donald Trump can pull the plug on military hardware in Europe, and this is not just about Ukraine, but there's, for example, F-35s in the UK, there's F-16s in European countries. What if the United States government decides to instruct weapons providers to render these vehicles or these weapons useless? Is that a reliable ally? No, it's not. So while the politicians will talk up the idea of an alliance, I think that alliance has come to an end. But I understand the diplomatic approach to this. Look, we're not going to openly criticize Donald Trump. We're not going to openly criticize the US administration. I presume these things are talked about behind closed doors. But there is a real concern here that Donald Trump is going to act in a very unpredictable way going forward. And this, of course, will undermine any real alliance that exists. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.